All right, this is the horn model CNC18DRE electro servo CNC tube bending machine. Serial number 060715. Horn refers to it as bender number 340, built 2006.
Walk around maybe?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, watch yourself in the cord here. We got the pedestal right here, the foot pedal, and of course an E-stop with a foot pedal, which is nice to have. We're not going to use it, but it's all connected, it works. The hydraulic manifold is down low, and hand wheel for the head, for the shift. That's all set. Coming along down low here, side here we've got the hydraulic package and the lubrication. And some of the pneumatics are all in there. That's the pump motor down there. And on the next cabinet is the PLC section, if you want to get on this side. Yeah, that's the PLC section right up in there. Mitsubishi, all the I/O down there, power supply. That's about it. Up on top here we do have a couple manuals for it. I believe there's schematics in there. And operator's manual, whatever else we got, it's all in the panel there. Manual extraction and back here. I'm not even sure if I was working on this program that we've got running, but all this works. We'll show the feed and the rotation B-axis in a minute here. Down low, if you just want to see the three drives down there, the Mitsubishi drives. One's for feed, one's for rotation, and one of course is for the bending arm. It's all currently running at 220 volts off the main disconnect here. I've got my temporary 220 coming in. And of course the main console up here, if you want to bring it around slowly, we'll run a few of the manual functions off the main screen here. It's all touch screen. And as I hit them, maybe you can kind of stand back or watch both happening. We're going to first, the switchboard is pretty well basic. It's alarm on off for reset. This is hydraulics on off, plus minus to move your servos. And this is auto start and auto stop. And that's pretty much it. The rest all takes place here up on the touch screen. So now I'm going to hit hydraulics on. And we're pretty much good to go. I can bounce around to a few of these buttons. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but they all point to something. And as I move things, you got to watch yourself here a little bit, Pete, so you don't get hit. There you go. I'm going to move things around. Yeah. So I'm on the clamp devices now. That's right there. And if you just watch my hand, I'm going to go to the next vise. Just touch it, and same thing, plus minus. That's how that works. Speed-wise, all of this can be set in the program, but right now I'm at 30% speed for everything. It's across the board. That's global there. We'll run one auto cycle at 30%, and then we'll run the same part maybe at 60 or 70%. And that's just a sliding adjustment there. But moving along here, we got what's Y. Y is the feed. That's up on top here. We should be able to move this around. And it doesn't matter where we put these things at. Whenever I go into auto cycle, they'll find their own position. You see how slow they're moving right now? That's just the way I've got it set. We're not bending anything. I just wanted everything to move slow and easy so we could watch what's happening. Up here, we've got the upper and lower. I get an alarm right here? Yeah, bend head is not moved out. So reset the alarm. First we have to move this guy out, and then it'll let me do the other one. Okay, that's out, bend head out. And then we hit this guy, and I think we can shift it. There's the shift. So R1, R2 for the die shift. And again, I'm not sure if it's used on this program, but it does work. So we'll take that back home. See it again. And we'll take the other one back home. Otherwise I won't my auto cycle, I don't think, unless I get all this in the right position. And of course bend arm, which is C right here, we can bring that out. There's plus, minus, And you can see it comes home pretty fast. And while this is all moving up here, everything's clocking on the screen. As you can see, I'm at 101 on my bend arm axis. Now when I go back home, it'll go back to 0. Or close to it. Yeah, right at dead on. Last time yesterday I was getting 359 degrees. So that's pretty much it there. That is set. That said, if we want to go into an auto cycle now, let me show the page here. This is kind of a setup page. Here's the Horn main page. It shows company, telephone, address, all of that. And then this guy here, we're not ready to go back into it. It's single stack. This is where you go in and pick your job. These are the jobs that were in there. I'm running this 1647 for what it's worth. It's a good program. It all works. Even before I go into the program and run it, whichever one of these I hit, in this case I'm going to hit that one. When you hit it, you can bring up a YBC 3D show, which is that 1647, same number again. If I pick that and go to YBC 3D, we can actually take a look at the bend that I'm going to be making. And from there you've got, you know, minus. You can kind of plus it out a little bit, and you can play around and kind of see what's happening here, bend it all over the place, and it's just fun stuff, you know. So that's just the crazy bend we got going, and that was somebody's bend there, and I guess it works okay, because we're going to run it here in a minute. So I'm going to exit that screen, and I want to exit this, and pull back out of here. Now we're still checked onto this. We want to start work, so we're going to leave that checked, hit start work, and the screen will come up that shows all kinds of different things you can do. I'm only going to change one. I've learned about 4 or 5 of them. The only one I'm going to change is right here, intermittent cycle, where you go step by step, keep on hitting the button, versus complete. So if I check this, put the V over here, the whole cycle will run automatically, and you've got all kinds of different things you can play with, where you want your oil, what you want the axes to do. Speed is still down here at 30%, but so I've only made one change to the program. So now I'm going to write to PLC. This thing's ready to go. I want to load it into the PLC and run it at a 30% speed. So watch me write to PLC. It'll all turn red. It takes about 4 seconds to load, writing the file, read PLC. Now watch this thing coming up on your right. It just homed itself. And now it's kind of ready to go. So at this point, we're set. We got the whole new page for running automation. The feed just came up. I'll hit auto cycle once, it'll chuck up, then I'll hit auto cycle again, and it should take off if I've got everything right. So here we go, and I'm gonna hit auto cycle. You got the chuck up there? There it is. My tube is in, and I'm gonna hit the same button again, cycle start, and that's gonna go back to the start position. So it'll start doing its dance. You can see up on the controller what bend we're on. It kind of counts down. I think it's got about 11 bends on there. It slowly counts down, so kind of watch it. I think you'll see the rotation moving too. They're turning it. And I believe what they're doing is moving the head out of the way after each bend so the rotate can happen. See it back off? Then it comes in and clamps. And now it comes back. Now it clamps. Yeah, that's what it was. They're back so it can rotate. Yeah. That looks pretty good. We're on bend 7, it looks like, over there. Now at 8, you can see the number up there changing. We're on bend 8. Now it's winding down, opens up, and that's where it leaves the next position for putting the tube in. So what I'll do now is, same thing again, I'll hit chuck close, and I'll just speed it up to whatever, 40, 50%, run the whole same program all over again. Here's chuck close, my tube is in. Yeah, it goes back first, comes in, I'm sorry, now it's ready for tube in, everything's out of the way, and now chuck close, and I think I could do it on the fly. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna hit cycle start and raise the speed as I'm running, and I think I can do that here. Let's see. It's going back. And I'm just going to slide this up a ways. That's 45, yeah, just speeding up, 45. or 60. Let's see if you see it. Yeah, now it's moving right along, see? Yep. There's 75. Yep, it's really quick now. There it is.
That's cool.
Ready for the next piece. I'm just going to close up the arm here and leave it in that position, which is good for me. And then hit cycle stop, which is kind of important on here. It gets you out of the cycle sequence so you don't get everything all goofed up. So you hit this, and then it asks you if you want to stop the sequence right here or continue with the auto sequence. So we want out. We're going to do that. And that gets us into the main menus again. And you can just take a quick look at these other pages. Now, we don't want that. We want this, or maybe just show a few. We were in that page before. And what else we got? We got this guy here. That's a password to get into different parameters. We don't need to do that yet, but the password is in the book. Oh, an I/O page is nice to have too. That brings up all the I/O, where your mandrel's at, where your bending arm is at, where your pressure die is at. So you can check all the I/O, and it's input 1, input 2, output 1. We can go over to here, check the outputs. We can go over here, check 2 pages of inputs, 3 pages of outputs, which is kind of nice. Pressure die, clamp, bend head. So that's really helpful when you don't know where your machine's sitting. You can check all of that. We exit that. There's a lot of pages in here to go into, but I think you know what this one is. Username. Again, that gets into other areas that are explained in the book. And then back to hand. So this is the main page where you get to play with things. You can set up little speeds and steps and everything right in here to play around to get your setup straight. And then you load it all to the PLC whenever you're ready. So it's a good running machine, sure. Looks good.